Welcome to ClearWater Arts Center and Studios. Due to the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, we have had to be closed for a few months to the public. Because of that, and because of the fact that I cannot walk you through Clearwater in a usual in-person tour, we decided to give you this video tour instead. We're going to be walking through the building in the same sequence we normally would, so I am standing in the lobby, where the city's utilities workers for both water and sewer, along with light utilities, used to come into work. Before that, this was a water treatment center and water supply for the city. We have a long history of serving the city of Concord, and now we serve it in a different way with art. On our lobby walls are some great before and after shots of the space as it was in 1998, and then after it was retrofitted into artist studios for the first time in 2010. This is now our gallery with 2,200 square feet of space that can be used for fantastic events like gallery opening receptions, weddings, parties, corporate meetings. All kinds of stuff often takes place here when we're not in a pandemic. Right now, as you can see, the gallery walls are fairly empty. We took the inability to have people in and to have events in our studio as the opportunity to put a new shine on our floors. All of the doorways off of our gallery are artist studios being leased by active artists, and so now we're going to take a peek into some of them and let you see their work. Barbara Ellis in Studio 108 has been a Clearwater tenant for several years and has developed a signature abstract style. One of our newest tenants at Clearwater Arts Center is Chadwick, otherwise known as Chad Cartwright, in Studio 140. Our only potter at the moment at Clearwater is Nancy Bibby. She sells her work traditionally at the Winecoff Road Farmers Market on Saturdays and is a prolific home potter. At the back end of our gallery is a floor mosaic created by artist Robert Crum, who was a tenant here at Clearwater for a couple of years. This is our first work of permanent public art in the building, and it fills a gap left in the floor from an old equipment lift that had to be torn out. In Studio 110 is painter Paul Kezar, a longtime tenant. Paul specializes in some great realistic landscapes, portraits, and still life paintings. As you go up the ramp at the end of our gallery and into what we call the Yellow Hall, which is another sort of display space, you'll see 3 more studios and also some of our 3-dimensional work on a couple shelves. Featured here is the glass work of our only glass artist, Mary Jane Capron. Mary Jane also does stained glass windows. Here in Studio 128 is Walter Stanford with his famous, stunning raptor portraits. Walter has been working large scale on oil canvases for several years now, and these paintings sell like hotcakes in his gallery in Banner Elk. In Studio 122, we have the Southern Piedmont Woodturners Association. They have been our tenant for many years, and they gather in this studio, when they're allowed to in non-pandemic times, with more than 60 members in their club. They hold monthly meetings in this space, usually with a demonstrator to demonstrate a technique or two. Also in the Woodturners space, you see blue carts that were handcrafted by one of their members to afford them the ability to go off-site, conducting workshops with youth groups and at schools, as well as to carry out workshops in their space. Right off of our main lobby, you'll find Louise Farley, a painter, in Studio 146. Louise is one of our longest running tenants at 10 years now in this studio. She routinely teaches in non-pandemic times at John C. Campbell Folk School out in Western North Carolina, and is also really great at having students and classes in her studio. Down at our north end, we have 2 big studios. Today we'll introduce you to Julia Lawing in Studio 160.
Hi, I'm Julia Lawing. Welcome to my workspace here at Clearwater Studios.
Downstairs you'll find our lower level, which is in various stages of renovation, with several new spaces available. Welcome to the lower level. As you get to the bottom of the stairs, on my left, you'll see what we laughingly refer to as the dungeon, for obvious reasons. Then in this section of the building, you'll see several spaces that are still being defined and renovated, like the great room, holding our reclaimed lit and motorized drafting tables which formerly sat in City Hall. Through the windows from the great room, you can view our new computer graphics studio, which is still in the process of getting set up. We also have a couple of folks in the community already volunteered to teach such computer design classes. We're very excited about this. As you go through the hall in the lower level, on the left is Studio Lower Level 102, which is now the home base for our Cabarrus Art Guild. In one of our biggest, newest studios downstairs is Gordon C. James. Here you see several of the books with his illustrations that have been published and granted many of the highest awards in children's literature over the past 3 years. Let's get a look at some of his hand-painted illustrations in his studio. The Greenway Gallery event space comes complete with the use of a large kitchen, pass-through window, and a lovely event setting. That also includes an outdoor covered awning. We're nearing what would normally be the end of our tour, and here in the Greenway Gallery you can see on the walls an exhibit we had just mounted when the pandemic hit. This is called What Lies Beneath, and we look forward to welcoming you in to see it when we are able to. This Greenway Gallery has been a very popular event space. From here, we're going to move outside and show you some of the buildings that haven't been renovated yet and talk a little bit about future vision. This outdoor entry is what most people see from the street when they're driving by on Kerr, along with our oldest building. The Waterworks Studio is celebrating its 100th year anniversary, having been built in 1920 as the first water source building for the city of Concord. Inside is Tom Taggart's studio. He is our only sculptor. Behind me across the driveway off of Kerr Street is what we call the ClearWater Market, so named because the residents of Gibson Village community here in our neighborhood I've long wished for a farmer's market. We're working on that, along with several other events. To my right is the building we are now working on designing as a pottery center, complete with studio classrooms and kilns. And then to my left, in the former clear well/water tank underneath, is what we envision to be a metalworking studios and sculpture studios, with an event deck on top. This has been your tour, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you come back and see us when we once again can reopen to the public. Thanks.